Peace to everybody, back with another video. This is Faith Rodgers, is one of the strongest voices speaking out against R. Kelly, and it's come at a huge price. And as you can see here is Faith Rodgers herself. She came out with her story of what he did to her. She was one of the victims of R. Kelly's, and has spoken out about what happened to her. Lifetime Surviving R. Kelly Part 2 The Reckoning dug deeper into the sex abuse scandal of disgraced singer R. Kelly. The original docuseries exposed the alleged decades-long abuse that numerous young girls and women endured at the hands of Kelly. The second docuseries grapples with the fallout and the impact coming forward has had on survivors, including Faith Rodgers. So Surviving R. Kelly Part 2 The Reckoning did dig deeper into the sex abuse scandal of disgraced singer R. Kelly. And of course, Surviving R. Kelly Part 2 The Reckoning concludes tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. And of course, they had the original docuseries exposed the alleged decades-long abuse that numerous young girls and women endured at the hands of Kelly. The second docuseries grapples with the fallout. So they had a fallout with R. Kelly, and the impact coming forward has had on survivors, including Faith Rodgers. So Faith Rodgers had a fallout with R. Kelly because of what he did to her. Rodgers has become the integral voice in speaking out against Kelly. She claims to have been in a relationship with the singer for at least a year when she was 19. In May 2018, Rodgers sued the singer, claiming that he mentally, sexually, and verbally abused her and failed to disclose a sexuality transmitted disease, Variety reported. And so Rodgers did become an integral voice in speaking out against R. Kelly. She claims to have been in a relationship with the singer for at least a year. But what R. Kelly did not disclose to Faith Rodgers that he had a sexually transmitted disease. And this is why the government found his medical records to prove that it was on his medical records. Before Rodgers' appearance on the first part of the docuseries, her lawyer Gloria Allred said Kelly launched a campaign of intimidation and retaliation against Rodgers and sent a threatening letter with nude photos of her. So R. Kelly was pretty much threatening her. She was speaking out against R. Kelly, and she had every right to speak out against him. She even was suing also. And of course, Gloria Allred said Kelly launched a campaign of intimidation and retaliation against Rodgers and sent a threatening letter with nude photos of her. So R. Kelly thinks he's only going to do whatever the heck he wants, but R. Kelly's not getting away with nothing. And R. Kelly is sitting in jail now until his trial this year. I do believe it's coming in April. I'm not sure, but I am keeping an eye out for that, and I will be covering that trial as well. Unfortunately, the alleged letter from Kelly was only the beginning of the hate mail Rodgers would receive, with more coming after the docuseries aired. The stress of being shown leaked sexual videos of herself and Kelly following one screening caused Rodgers to have a seizure. So while Faith Rodgers was getting all these letters and that, she was having a seizure because of all these letters that R. Kelly was sending her. And of course, there were the stress of being shown leaked sexual videos of herself and Kelly following one screening. And it caused Rodgers to have a seizure. So all these letters, videos, anything you could think of, they were coming out against her because he was using her. It took a lot out of me that night, emotionally, physically, and spirituality, Rodgers recalls. So, yeah, it took everything out of her emotionally, physically, and spirituality. Kelly has denied all allegations against him. His lawyer, Steve Greenberg, has called the docuseries unsupported propaganda on Twitter and criticized Lifetime for following survivors who profit from these vicious allegations. However, survivors, including Rodgers, state that nothing good has come from speaking out against Kelly and stating that some days she felt like nothing. Steve Greenberg was not there. So how can he know what is going on if he was not there? I don't care if he is R. Kelly's lawyer. So what? He was not there. So who is he to speak on about Faith Rodgers? He had tweeted on his Twitter and he faced faculty unsupported propaganda Twitter and criticized Lifetime for allowing survivors to profit from these suspicious allegations. How are these girls profiting from this? They're telling their story, what R. Kelly did to them. I mean, Steve Greenberg needs to shut up. He was not there. He don't know what happened to these girls unless he's a peeping Tom that I don't know about. I don't know. So what do I know? And stating that some days she felt like nothing. Well, when you have been abused by somebody, it's not your fault, but even though somebody else is going to say, oh, well, it's your fault, you deserve, no woman deserves this ever. This is a crime that happened. And no woman should ever feel like, oh, it's their fault, because it's not. Rodgers says that since she appeared in the first series, she gained 30 pounds from stress eating, while her father, Charles Rodgers, notes how depressed she is. Depression is common for survivors of sexual assault, according to Joyful Heart Foundation. Yeah, so Faith Rodgers was depressed. She gained 30 pounds from stress eating. I, I, I mean, and depression is common for survivors of sexual assault, according to Joyful Heart Foundation. So she had went through a lot with R. Kelly because, of what he did to her and everything else. She's been in therapy, Charles says. She never was moody. Now she's moody. Yes, so her father, Charles, has said that she's been in therapy. And he also said she never was moody, now she's moody. So even her father knows what is happening with his daughter. Despite the emotional and physical toll it's taken on her, though, Rodgers says she'll continue to speak out and is now involved with the federal case against Kelly, she said on CBS this morning. Alright, so now she's involved with the federal case against Kelly. Okay, so we got that. But R. Kelly can keep denying all these charges he wants. He's not going anywhere still. He's still in jail. Right up to his trial, then after his trial, and everything else. It is never okay to be sexually assaulted. It's not okay. Tell somebody, go to a hospital, go to the police, and let somebody know that somebody did something to you. It is never okay for a woman to be hurt. It hasn't just been me, Rogers said. It's a track record. So, even if it's not justice for me, for the next person, that's good enough. All right, she said that it's not just her. She said it's a track record. So, even if it's not justice for me, for the next person, that's good enough. So, the next person, yeah, it should be good for to get their stories out. And all these girls have come out with their stories. And yes, I have seen them on Surviving R. Kelly Part 2, The Reckoning. I've seen a couple of girls really did cry because they don't want to go through this, but they need to get their story out because it's really important that no woman should ever have to go through this. If you have experienced sexual violence and are in need of crisis support, please call the RAIN Sexual Assault Hotline, and there's the number right there that you can call for RAIN. So yeah, if you have experienced sexual violence and are in need of crisis support, please call RAIN at that number right there, and then you will get help through that way too, and let somebody know what is going on, because this is not safe for any woman to be sexually assaulted by a creep at all. Because and what R. Kelly had did to all these women, he's not going anywhere. And plus now the newest charges on him is the bribery charges for Aaliyah. So please call that number that you see here in this article, because it's really important that you get help for what has happened to you or anybody that you know that have been sexually assaulted. Leave your comments below. I am out.